Hey guys, this is Introducing Emmy, and today I'm going to be doing Zista's Twitch emotes, or Twitch icons, whatever you'd like to call them. Those little things that you can put in the chat. I already did 3 of them, so I did the Zisto head, the battle sign, and the lava bucket, which I had actually already drawn these before for something else previous with Zisto, so I just went through and isolated these ones and see if you like them anyway. I changed the lava bucket a little bit so that it looks better like on its own, and the same with the battle sign, because I think his little hoofies were over top of it. Okay, so now we're gonna do the mushroom soup, and I'm hoping that this isn't going to take very long. I feel bad. I've kind of put it off for about a day or so while I was working on trying human. But I really got to get this stuff done. Okay. Also, I put that list over there so that, you know, if you're bored just watching me, you can check out the list. I'm gonna put this, well, you know what? I think in the final one I'm gonna put the soup bowl on a little tilt, just so it's not boring old soup. Okay. And I'm gonna use Lazy Nezumi, which, if you're unfamiliar with Lazy Nezumi, it is a, I like the settings. It's a program that lets you, with any drawing program, or like, it's a program that you can use with any drawing program that lets you smooth your lines so they come out all beauteous without much strain or hassle. I'd like to think that even before I got Lazy Nezumi that my lines were pretty nice, but I will always take anything that will help me out or make my work go a little quicker. I wonder what mushroom soup tastes like. I've never, I can't say I've ever had it. I mean, I've had mushrooms in soup, but never just the mushrooms. Like, that's the only ingredient. Well, I mean, I would assume there's also water in it, because there can't be much liquid in a mushroom. Okie dokie. So I'm actually just going to turn it a little bit just to make it a little more interesting. And by turning it, I can actually make it a little bit bigger. Now, I understand that this is, you know, it breaks down the quality of the line art a little bit. I know, I get it. But these are going to be so small that I don't think it'll be a problem. Also in the list on the left, you can see these different sizes that Twitch requires. Alright, let's get rid of the sketch. I'm not saving much of this work. In fact, I'm actually collapsing down all the layers and stuff because I have no plans on, you know, if he wants stuff fixed, I'm just going to draw over top of it basically. I have no plans of going into like super detailed illustrations for these, and I can't imagine he'd be like, I want super detailed. So I'm working like very minimal layers. I'm deleting a lot of information as I go. I'm shading right on the flats layer. I should be put away just for that alone. Okay. And then that's actually really dark brown. I'll have to. Why doesn't that look as warm? It's very yellow. I am going to make the contrast a little more dramatic. Mushroom, put some spots on there. Apparently he didn't cut this one up very well. Put some darker little chunks in there. Okay. And let's shade over top of that with a brown. I guess in a way you could use this as a tutorial to make your own Twitch icons. So to remember to keep everything really bold. Make sure all your contrasts are really good, because by the time it's shrunk down, it is just going to be a teeny tiny nothing. And you're going to lose a lot of detail, so you want to make sure everything is like really snappy and nice. And okay, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an overlay layer. Put some highlights down. Wow, you can't even see the steam. let's try something like that. I think that looks okay. And last but not least, I'm going to put a little bit more of a bold outline on the actual bowl and collapse it down. Let's see what it looks like at the different sizes. Oh, wrong. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, I think it looks nice. Only thing is, see, this is what I mean. If I'm going to make any corrections, I'm just going to go right over top. Because when it comes to Twitch emotes and separate layers, ain't nobody got time for that. Okay. I think that looks a little better. Yeah, much better. Okay. You know me, I like things to be smooth and neat and tidy. I don't like the way this is. It's lumpy, I don't like it. I'm fixing it. Alright, let's do this. So 1112 or 112. Save for web. Ping. This is going to be saved as a transparent ping. Anything with that checkerboard means that it will be see-through. Just call this soup. Then we're going to go back up to the full size, go to image size again, go to 56. Now the reason I go back to the full size before I resize it is because if you just keep resizing, you know, over and over without going back up to the original, it will just degrade in quality much quicker than if, as far as I know. I could be totally wrong about this, but I think it loses a lot of quality if you just keep going back and forth and back and forth. Or, I mean, if I'm totally confusing myself now. You lose quality if you don't go back and forth to change the size. If you just size down from like the lowest quality. Sorry, it's hard to talk and draw at the same time. Okay, so we just did the soup. We'll put that up in the complete folder and we'll come over to our list. I like doing this because it makes me feel like I'm really getting stuff done. I love to have stuff to cross off a list, you know? Feels good. Okay, so now we're going to do man pants. And we're going to do this in pretty much the exact same way. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off Lazy Nezumi. Draw our center line. Draw the top of our pants. Now I'm drawing the newer Minecraft pants, the ones that have the knee pads sort of built in. I'm also giving it a little bit of a waistband just because there's not a whole lot to Minecraft pants, so giving it a waistband. Okay, and then we're just keep things neat. I'm going to delete that. They look pretty wide. Let's do a little perspective warp. Okay, and I think same thing. I'm going to ink this and then I'm going to kind of warp it a little bit or change it so it's not just like flat on. So it's not just like straight on, because that looks a little boring. I'm actually kind of happy that they added knee pads, because otherwise these would be super, super boring. It'd be like man trousers. I'm just gonna make the top black. Now I am doing these in leather because if I remember correctly, those are the ones that Zisto usually starts with, you know, and like way back in his Complete the Monument maps, those were like always the ones that like he started with, and you know, and then later when Vex like added man pants as an item, they were usually leather pants, I think. So, but if he needs them changed, I'll change them. It's no big deal. It's literally a palette swap to like gray or turquoise for the diamond, or gold for gold, and checkered for what is that? Chainmail. Sorry, I was having a moment. Just having a little moment. Oops. And to delete that. Okay, let's just make that straight. And let's run over to our refs real quick. Glorious, glorious man pants. I was just thinking. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to up the contrast on these. Because there is not a lot to them. There we go. Some nice, simple, yet elegant man pants. Let's up the contrast. Let's go a little darker. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted overlay. So the reason that I'm adding like these shines, even though this is technically not shiny, I just think it makes it pop a little more when it's smaller. Like you really can't afford to cut any glitz or glam out of these teeny tiny little icons. Sorry if I'm like repeating myself, but it bears repeating. Put a little fly on there. Okay. Oops. No, 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 no. Overlay. Create clipping mask. Let's do a gradient overlay on this. Okay. And last but not least, I want to try to Okay. Let's turn them this way since a lot of the other stuff is going the other way. I'm going to just put a little warp on them. Just a teeny tiny bit. And again, another bold outline. Trying to get it so that these take up as much room as possible. Because I don't have a lot of room to work with. Okay. Let's resize these. Let me go back to my list as always. I'm not very good at remembering numbers by the seat of my pants, you know? So it's nice to have that list there. Man pants. Then we go back. Image size 56. I'm kind of anal about my, well, I'm anal about a lot of things, but I'm pretty anal about the way my files are labeled. That whole trope about the unorganized artist is just like, whoa, man, let's just, you know, scatter our shit everywhere. That is not me. I'm probably one of the most organized artists you'll ever meet. Okay, so that's complete. Move it up into the complete folder. And let me readjust my legs. They're falling asleep a little bit. And we are done with all the Minecraft stuff. Great. We are over halfway. There's supposed to be 10 in total, but he thought of 7 originally, and then I offered up Man Pants, because, come on, Man Pants, Zisto, it's like, goes together like apple and pie. And then I also came up with the idea to do like a little gem and coin collection for like any sort of Skyrim stuff he does when he's thieving about. But I haven't actually run that one by him, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I feel like it, and he needs 10, I think, so there you go. Okay, so now we're gonna do the bonfire from Dark Souls. Again, I'm going to have to make this really bold, really cartoony. Let me run over to my refs real quick. I kind of forget what the sword looks like. I'll just do one twist. And I'm not going to add, it kind of has like a cross sort of handguard on it, but I'm not going to do that because it won't look very good. Just going to have to trust me. Okay. And then the fire, we're going to have twist around like that, and I'm also going to put some bones down here. I was gonna put a skull, but I think it'll get a little lost. Look at my cute bones. Cute little death in Dark Souls. Cute Dark Souls death. And we're gonna put some embers around, like, coming up out of the fire. Okay. These are going real quickly, so I'm happy about that. Let us turn on our Lazy Nezumi. And draw some pretty fire. I'm already breaking away from my sketch because I'm the boss. I want this fire to look really organic. I think that would look cool. Here's my bone, or one bone anyway. Okay, and I'm just thinking how I want to do these. So let's leave the fire and the bone all in one layer, and then let's draw the ash pile. I'm not going to do this bone. I think what I'll do is I'll put like a little piece of white, like I'll put bone fragments. How about? There we go. So I'm going to draw the ash pile. I'm going to leave a gap there for the bone, but I'm going to draw through the fire. Let's have it go out a little more, since I'm not drawing that other bone. And the reason I'm having it go out through, like drawing behind the fire, is because I want to have the lines for the ash pile semi-visible behind the fire. Okay, and one last thing, I'm going to cut this bone out sloppily with my lasso tool, and I'm going to move it down and collapse it into the ash pile. Okay, so now the fire's on one layer and that's on another. And now we're going to do the sword. Let's go more into the middle here. So I'm on my a different layer than that. I just have the fire turned off right now. And I'm actually going to make this sketch a lot lighter. And I'm going to do this the way that I've been doing, like I did the soup bowl, I did the pants. How do I draw a half circle? It's funny, I know that this sword has like a story behind it, but for the life of me, I can't think of what it is. you know, like the game story, like the sword belonged to so and so of so and so. You know what I'm talking about. You know. I really like Dark Souls because I think the sound design of the game is gorgeous. Like the voice acting and the the way your footsteps sound, and I don't know what it is about that. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. Alright, I'm gonna cheat. Just like that. I've cheated. I think I'm also going to make this side a little slimmer. Let me go back to my nice pencily brush. Oh, and I get this question like all the time. Where did I get this brush? It is some free to use on anything brush that I found on found on DeviantArt years ago in the Photoshop section. I don't remember which one it is, and I don't know if the original even exists. And I've actually ended up modifying this brush to make it a little heavier to use for things just like this. But yeah, if you go on if you go on DeviantArt and search for Photoshop brush pencil simulation, you'll find it. Um, just make sure whichever one you use, you credit appropriately. I always choose brushes that I don't have to credit, so, because I'm lazy. Pretty much. So let's do the fire first, and let's make it, I actually really like my lava bucket palette, so I'm going to use stuff from that. There we go. Whoa. How did, oh, huh, my opacity got turned way down. That's weird. Oh, I hit 5 for a second there to do something. Yeah, that's probably what happened. Okay. Let's do light yellow here. Just try to make it so it's not all the same. I don't know. I don't know about this orange. Let's really make it pop. Okay. Now, let's see how I want to do this. Let's go make a new layer. Let's make a clippy mask onto that layer and overlay. Let's get rid of my sketch. We don't need that anymore. I'm being a little thinker right now. Let's do fire stuff. This is a little more complicated than the other ones, so give me a break that I'm taking my time on it. Let's quickly color the ash pile and sword. Also, if ash pile is not an appropriate name for whatever this blazing inferno is, I apologize. Well, I'm having fun. Don't know about you guys, but I'm enjoying myself here. Okay. So I'm trying to decide here what parts of the fire I want to keep and what parts I don't. So I definitely want to show that, and I think part of the hilt would be nice. Or not the hilt, the blade. Let me think here. And I think the way I'm going to go about doing that is I'm going to duplicate this layer, and I'm actually going to have fire stuff. Great clipping mask. trying to think how to do this. Because I don't want to lose this. I'm sorry that this is taking me a minute. I'm just... having a moment. There, I think that's nice. Maybe if I could just do it in a smoother stroke here. There we go. So I think now it looks a little more like the fire is like actually emanating. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so that's actually just like a little layer on top there. That's not anything to be concerned with. So now we can sort of work no wait. I don't want it like that. Okay. I hope he likes these. If he doesn't, I'm just gonna lay down and cry. Alright, here's the big moment. Watcha. All collapse down together. And just gonna make a few little cleanups on the final layer. So I think one last thing I'm going to do is, now gradients don't do all that awesome, like really dramatic gradients collapse down, but I do want this to be a little more intense right in here. So on a new layer up above, I'm doing sort of, actually let's do a little more orangey in the middle, and then a yellow. I'm doing sort of like a little Watcha. I don't know how to describe it, like a little more of a powerful point right there. But I want the lines to not be, yeah. See, what I like to do is I like to look at the navigator because that kind of gives me an idea what it's going to look like shrunk down. In fact, if I go even smaller, I can get an even better idea of like what it will look like. I don't really need the navigator, so I'm actually going to leave it like that. You can also open another window by going to View. Where is this? Window. I forget exactly how to do it now. I haven't done it in a little bit. Oh, here we go. Go to Window, Arrange, and then go say New Window for Zisto Twitch Emotes PSD, and it will, oops, it'll open this again, and any changes you make to this one will happen to the other, but you can like shrink down the other really small and see kind of like what it's gonna look like, you know, as you work on it. It's a handy little thing if you've never tried it before. Sorry I'm spending so much time on this. I am really enjoying this one in particular. I was really looking forward to it. It's almost like a little chibi bonfire for the super cute, wonderful, magical adventure that is Dark Souls 2. Oops, not that. And let's put a filter on that gradient to see if we can try to make it. That was actually just the one I was looking for. Where's that little... Oh, that's neat. Where's that fakey? There we go. That actually looks really cool, that small. Ooh, I like. Cool. Do it. Make it happen. Perfect. I love it. Okay, so that will be our little bonfire. I'm actually not debating. I want to like make the border a little meatier, but I'm not totally sure how I'm gonna do that. Excuse my dog lapping up water in the background. She is quite the thirst, apparently. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a Photoshop trick to do this on a little... Because I know you're probably going like, Emmy, just put a border on it, just do stroke or outer glow or something. But the problem is, if I do that, I can only make it like one color. And even with like a lot of finagling, it still won't look super great. So that actually, I think, did the trick. I just heard my doggy make a noise. Alright. Let us make this a thing. Okay. Let's, can I messed it up. Ruined it. Where's my, there we go. It's just got a little flat when I was trying to clean it up. Shame. Okay. Ugh, I hate that. See how this just like stops like right at the edge of the flame? That's not gonna do. I can't deal with that. I'm losing my mind about it already. I'm an aggravating sort, that's for sure. Ugh, let me turn this off. Nope, just can't have it. Too much tension right there. So one thing that might get brought up in the comments is, why am I not? No, not that. Why am I not using something like Illustrator to do this so that everything resizes all perfect and beautiful and smooth and, you know, whatever? One is I haven't used Illustrator in a really long time. Like a really long time. Maybe like 5 or 6 years. Well, more than that. That's how long I've been married, and I definitely haven't used it since then. But the reason I don't use Illustrator also for something like this is because it's just so simple. Like, this is not something that he's gonna like, I want it on a t-shirt, I want 15, you know, I want 100 million billion at this size, this size, this size. So, you know, for something kind of lackadaisical like this, I'm not gonna worry about making it huge and enormous and vectored and what have you. I'm also not a big fan of vectors. I think they look too smooth. Is that a thing? Can something look too smooth? You know what this fire reminds me of? The way the fire on the looks on the stained glass at the beginning of the Disney version of Beauty and the Beast. That's really obscure, isn't it? But that's kind of what it reminds me of. Alright, so let's do image size 112. Save for web. Fire. Then we go back. Image size 56. I guess I'm not terrible at remembering numbers, though. I wouldn't want to have to be paid to remember numbers, because I'd be a very, very poor girl. And then image size 28. Oh, it's so teeny tiny. I mean, like, it really falls apart when it's that small, so I hope it's distinct enough to use. Oh, sorry, I was like having a moment. I was thinking, can you hear my dog groaning in the background? She's like so uncomfortable. Her life as a doggy is so hard. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna delete that. This is just a little temp folder. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna go back over to our list and